Hello, sunshines, and welcome back to Percolating with the Busy Bee. Today I'm calling this episode, Excuse Me While I Build a Spaceship. Now, I'm a busy person. I always have been. Even since high school, I think I was in 11 clubs. Let's be real, I think it was 12. I've been in a lot of clubs. I've always been really involved. I'm a volunteer. I love it. That's how I function. That's what I like to do. But this last weekend, I had a very good friend, and she said, Andrea, I want you to take a break this weekend. And when I say take a break this weekend, I mean, I don't want you to go home, build a spaceship, fly the spaceship, write a book over the spaceship, and publish the book about the spaceship, then do a podcast about the spaceship, then do a YouTube channel of you taking apart the spaceship so other people know how to do it. And then decide to go camping and build your own tent. And it went on and on and on. And I thought, oh my goodness, my friends know me so well. Because I do need to stop and take a break sometimes. And sometimes we forget that. And that's okay. And that's okay. So it's great that my friend could point this out to me. And she knew me so well about building a spaceship. But it's funny, once I slow down, I start getting really even more creative. And that's when I realized I need to make a spaceship. So I did make a spaceship this weekend. I told another friend about this story and she goes, oh my goodness, Andrea. She goes, yes, that is how your brain works. You build spaceships. And I think this year, because of COVID and the pandemic, we've all had to figure out how to build our own spaceships and figure out our destination. Speaking of destination imagination is why I built a spaceship. So I'm a team manager for Destination Imagination. And Destination Imagination is from kindergarten all the way through college kids. They're teams of 7 or less, and it is amazing. These kids get a challenge in October, and then they have to work on that challenge, figure out how they're going to present that challenge, and then present the challenge at a tournament in March, February or March. It's awesome. These kids are so creative. I have improv teams. I have 2 technical teams, and I have a scientific team. I also have amazing team managers. But it's so cool how these kids can figure out how to do things because there's no interference. As an adult, I can be there to make sure that, well, I have 4 B's that I don't allow for Destination Imagination. My 4 B's, I do this for Girl Scouts too. My 4 B's are no blood, no broken bones, no bullying, and no barf. I had to make the no barf rule. It's a good one and a good reminder. So I have these teams. I have amazing team managers, but the really cool thing is there's a regional tournament. If they make it through regionals, they go to state. And if they make it to state, then they go to globals, which is global. Global teams from all over the world participate in this. Now, because of this pandemic, Destination Imaginations look different, but we've done it. We have figured out how to do it virtually. So these 4 teams and these team managers have rocked it out. They have done amazing. So they made it through our regional tournaments, and this weekend we find out if we make if at the state tournament if we make it to globals. I don't know if we will, but I am so proud that these kids have figured out how to still make these challenges work. Because not only in a regular year they work on the team challenges, the day of competition they give their team challenge and the parents can watch it and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my kids created this. But they also have an instant challenge. And an instant challenge is where they go into a room, they're given a piece of paper with a challenge on it. It might be building, it might be acting, and they have to do it right there. They have to act it out or build it or a combination. And that's also part of their scores. It's a crazy, intense day. Usually on Destination Imagination Day, we get to school at 5:30 and we don't get home till like 10 o'clock at night. But I love it. I've been doing it for over 11 years. So I'm so proud of these teams. All 4 of the teams that I work with, they made it to the next round virtually. So they've had to do instant challenges virtual over Zoom calls, and they've also done their team challenges over Zoom, and they created videos. It's amazing. Destination Imagination is fantastic, and that's why I love being a part of this organization. I love seeing these kids grow. One of my teams I've had since they were 3rd grade. Remember, we're virtual, but usually for Destination Imagination, when you go to tournament, everybody has crazy hats. Now, I'm sure you can only imagine that I love a good crazy hat. of course, it's great for DI, but it's also great for school. Let's be real. So I was going to share a few of my crazy hats, and then I was going to share how my crazy hats have changed to crazy headbands. Because although hats are great, hats flatten the hair and they make your head sweaty. Let's be real. But the great thing about crazy hats and crazy headbands is that you're also noticeable. So when you have a crowd of lots of kids, they can still find you. So my first ever Destination Imagination hat, I got there and I'm looking at all the hats and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need that fish. So I have this beautiful pink plasticky fish, and he's been around for 11 years now. He's been to several tournaments. So he was one of my first ones, my plastic fish. I think I got this one next. This is my flamingo. It's a huge flamingo. It's got really long legs that hang out over your shoulders. He's got a floppy little head, so you've got the flamingo. I had a penguin one year, because who doesn't need a penguin on your head, right? And of course, I have a wizard hat. So after doing Destination Imagination for so long, though, I realized that if our team managers are there, because each team has a team manager, it's really helpful for kids to be able to point out the adults very easily, especially in a crowd. And once again, who doesn't love a fun headband? So my hats changed to headbands. So our first year creating crazy headbands, I think trolls was really big then. So we created troll headbands that used tulle. So we have tulle and a headband, and we had some flowers. And each team manager got to choose their favorite colors. We looked obnoxious. I mean, it's fantastic. You've got a big troll hair is what it looks like. One year we were manager of the wild things. So we created crowns. So these are just paper crowns. I'm not going to lie. I do not like glitter. Glitter is not my favorite thing whatsoever. So it is hard sometimes whenever I use glitter in my activities. This does not have glitter on it. It was already glitter paper, so it's not quite as bad. It doesn't, but it's not my favorite thing to use. But this is a glitter crown. This is a crown that looks like for the wild things are. Once again, managers got to choose what color they wanted to use. One year, we decided if you cannot be a unicorn, be a team manager. So we created unicorn headbands out of felt and ribbon. And once again, too, we could choose which colors we wanted to use. One year we did, I think it was like Games of Thrones. This one I did not make. This headband I did not make. This one is a light up headband that I got off Amazon. It's pretty cute. It looked pretty good. Now, my Nerdy Birdie trio, they have actually made it to state before. So I had to have a special headband for state. So for state, for my Nerdy Birdie trio, there's 3 of them. They're an improv group that have been together since 5th grade. They're in 10th grade now. I created a headband that has 3 birds on it that all have glasses on them. I used some wire and some flowers and created my Nerdy Birdie trio headband. Right? So this year I said, you know what? Our kids are rock stars. They are stars. They are shooting for the stars. They're doing amazing. So I got some paper from Michael's, cut out stars. I hot glued it onto a pipe cleaner and I put on a headband. Super cute and super easy, right? So that was for regional tournament because we're rock stars. It's gonna be awesome. But you know, now all 4 of our teams made it past regionals and are on to the state competition. And this weekend we find out if we've made it to state. So I said, we need a new headband because these kids have worked so hard. Now the kids still have their crazy hats. These are for the team managers. Could the kids make them? Of course they could, but these are for the team managers. So this year, so after I had the conversation with my friend about not building a spaceship, I'm like, but you know what though? These DI kids, they have been rock stars. They have figured out how to build spaceships and propel them into the universe and be amazing. So I created spaceship headbands. So if you want to find out how I created this spaceship headband and you're watching my YouTube video, stick around. But if you're not watching my YouTube video and you're listening to my podcast, I hope you go look at my YouTube video on Percolating with the Busy Bee to find out how I made these headbands. But I want to leave you with this. This year has been hard. This year has been very, very hard for so many reasons and for so many people. It's not easy. It's not easy to always shoot for the stars. It's not easy to always work on the spaceship to try to get you out of whatever place you might be in. And that's okay to take a break sometimes. That's okay. It's also okay to find people that understand that sometimes you need a break and sometimes you need to build a spaceship. But whatever you do, don't stop shooting for the stars. Take a break, hang out in the Milky Way, but stay in the spaceship and figure out what your destination is next. So I'm super excited about Destination Imagination this year. I don't know how far my teams will make it, but they made it this far. They figured out how to build their own spaceship and get to state. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of you. This year's not easy. So, excuse me while I go build a spaceship. And what are you percolating on? So I started with my idea for the Spaceship Headband with the Creatology Build a Scene. It's got a spaceship. It's cute. I mean, it's orange. I don't really care for the orange, but I want to use this orange as a base to make my own. It's foam, so I can easily trace it. But the reason I like this pre-made kit, though, is because it already had all the pieces for the actual spaceship. So I have this. I got this from Michael's. It's on sale, which is even better. I have red foam. I'm actually going to use purple for my next headband, but this is just a piece of foam is all you need. I found this at Michael's too. I liked it because it matches our star headbands that we already have. It's a scrapbook paper that's really heavy duty. I have 4 gold stars. I'll show you how we use those. Of course, I've got a headband. And then, and also for this headband, I'm using a little bit thicker one. I have thin ones, but because this is a little bit bigger foam piece, I'm actually going to use a thicker headband. I have blue pipe cleaners, but you can use gold, which is what I use for my stars. Scissors, of course. I have 2 of these toothpick things. They're a little bit heavier duty toothpicks. I want to use those to actually attach my spaceship to my headband. And of course, I have a hot glue gun and hot glue. The first thing I want to actually do is take apart this little spaceship, because I need these pieces and I also need the spaceship. It punches out. So I want to actually take this spaceship and I am going to trace it. I've already traced it on my paper, on my other foam. I want to trace 2 of them because this is kind of flimsy, and when you put it on a headband, it might it might be too flimsy. So what I'm going to do is actually cut around this and we're going to hot glue them together. This also helps with the toothpick base that we're going to add. So now I'm going to cut these out. So now that these 2 pieces are going to cut out, I'm going to actually just hot glue them together. I know they don't look super perfect yet because you can still see the black lines and everything, but once I hot glue them and add the stickers to them, then I'm going to kind of trim up the edges. Also, when I hot glue, I can put the black on the inside. When I do hot glue these together, I'm actually going to leave one side not hot glued yet because I want to put my sticks in before I hot glue it. So now I have my cute spaceship already done. So now we see start getting this attached to the headband. So I've got my 2 long toothpicks. These are actually like decorative toothpicks that you put in cupcakes for parties. So one end is flat and the other end is pointy. And I want to use the pointy end inside of the spaceship, and then the flat end towards the headband. So I'm actually going to do them a little bit different lengths. So this way, whenever we put it on the headband, it looks like it is going up. So I have them the one at the back is shorter and the one at the front is longer. So I want to actually put a little hot glue in there, because hot glue is everything, right? And remember, I'd already left part of that open. So now I want to put a little hot glue on those pieces and hot glue it shut. And now I can work on the stars and getting this attached to the headband. So for the stars, I actually have my nice paper, but I'm actually going to turn it over, and I want to just stick 2 stars to my paper. And then I'm just going to cut around those 2 stars. So I have my 2 stars cut out. They're gold on one side, and they are the other regular stupid gold on the other side. So I want to get my headband, and I want to get 1 pipe cleaner. So with this 1 pipe cleaner, I want to wrap my pipe cleaner around my headband. And I want one of my pipe cleaners to be shorter and one to be taller. Of course, it's totally up to you however you want to do it. Now, remember I said to use 4 stars. So I've got 2 right here. So I've got other 2 right here. So if this is gonna be the front of my headband, I want to put my star right here. And then I'm just going to put the sticker on the back to hold it together. And I want to do the same thing for my other star. And now my headband has my stars on it. So now I need to attach my spaceship. So, and actually putting that on, I realize I'm moving the stars over just a little bit. So for my spaceship, I am actually going to go ahead and attach, I'm going to wrap these with 2 other blue pipe cleaners. And the reason I'm doing that is because, well, 1, it's going to be much easier to attach to the headband, and also it covers those sticks. So we have the spaceship now. So now I am going to wrap the pipe cleaners around the headband. I am going to add a little bit of hot glue right here on both where it hits the stick, but I want to wrap the rest. So all I have left is to fill in these spaces with blue pipe cleaner. I probably am going to move my stars over just a little bit so they're closer to the spaceship, and then we're done. So let's fill those in. So I might add a little bit of hot glue on the ends of the pipe cleaners just because they are a little pointy. But there you have it, your spaceship headband. So what ideas are you percolating on?